Very good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining the webinar regarding the fasteners. So I can see the most of people are joining right now, and I think we should not waste any specific time because the time is the most precious thing we all have, and we should start with the process of the presentation and the process of the introduction for the webinar. And I would like to introduce myself as well as the concerned person, Mr. BK Sinha ji, who is in the meeting right now, and he's the one who will going to provide all the concerned answers to your queries. Mr. BK Sinha ji is the former ex-deputy general from the BIS. So represented the BIS, worked with the BIS for specific period of time, and now we are very glad that he is working with Aleph India. He is with the team and assisting all the different manufacturers in the process of BIS ISI mark certification. Thank you, sir. And myself, I'm Shipra, the BDM of from Aleph India. I take care of the responsibility for FMCS Foreign Manufacturing Certification Scheme. And today I'm here to provide you the details about the BIS certification for the new QCO, which is regarding the fasteners. So I hope the meeting will be well introduced and well informative for all of you. We will start with a presentation initially, and then we can come to the question answers round, which will be taken care by Mr. Sinha. And without any further delay, we will initiate. So the BIS certification, the new QCO regarding the ISI marking, introduced by the Ministry of Under Nuts, Bolts and Fasteners, will going to be implemented from January 21st. And the process of the BI certification is very much important on the same products, because after the specific period of time, the manufacturing of the same product, importing of the same product will not be regulated by the BIS, and it will be on the hold if your product is not BIS ISI mark certified. So today we are going to have a discussion regarding the same, and we will introduce you the process of BIS, how we will initiate, and for what type of information you have to take care for. Today we will going to take care of the BIS introduction initially, which includes two different parts: BIS introduction, quality control order, and then the BIS process, list of mandatory products, step involved in the goal, product documentation submission, document review by BIS, officer nomination, audit of factory audit or audit of the factory, grant of license, renewal and inclusion, and the BIS expenses. So we have two respected global, one of the global director and one is chief advisor of Aleph India, Mr. Sanjay Kumar Sinha, and the global director, Mr. BK Sinha. They both worked with the BIS for a specific period of time. Now they are the retired officer from BIS, and they both are in process with the for the BIS certification with Aleph India. They are giving us the best of their guidance for the process. They are also assisting the foreign and the domestic manufacturers for their queries, for their concerns, because I think they both are best in their field, and with the help of Mr. Sinha and Mr. Kumar, no one else can give us the better guidance for the BIS certification, for the depth of the roots of BIS initially. So this is the basic introduction from most important people of Aleph India Group, and one of them is already in the meeting with us, Mr. Sinha, and sir will be the part of the specified round, which will be the question answer round for the specified BIS certification, which will be done in the end of the presentation. So you all can note your concern questions whenever you will going to have it in between the meeting, and the team will provide you the answers at the end. So the BIS certification or the BIS certification initially starts with the BIS introduction itself. The first part will be the BIS regulations, and second we will have a discussion on the quality control order QCOs. BIS regulations or BIS activities are segregated into the parts, which is the standardization, conformity assessment, laboratory setup and testing, and in last it will be the training. The BIS product certification system aims to the guarantee of the quality and the stability of the product, which will be used by the consumer. That product should be reliable and 100% of a good quality, so that the consumer will be risk free. The quality of the product will not going to affect the consumer specifically. Items which are going to be involved in the process of BIS certification mandatory scheme are around 459 products, which includes multiple different industry like glass, toys, steel, aluminium, building materials, metal, electrical, non-electrical products, agricultural products, food products, toy products, footwear, and uh, along with that the PVC, chemicals, oleochemicals, and the products like shoes. So these all are under the mandatory certification of the BIS, and initially BIS introduced the new QCO, which also adds the nuts, bolts, and fastener into the same from the January 2024, 21st of January specifically. So this is the copy of the QCO which was issued by the ministry, and the Ministry of Commerce says that the product fasteners, nuts, and bolts will going to be under the effective date from the publication of 6 months. The publication date is 21st of July, and the implementation date will going to be 31st of January 2024. After the specific period of time, the products needs the BIS certification if they want to manufacture, import in the Indian market. Any of the foreign manufacturer, any of the domestic manufacturer who's dealing who's dealing with the same group of products, they need to apply for the BIS certification, obtain the certification, and then only they will able to sell the material in the Indian market without the concerns of the government of India, or if we say for the foreign, without without the concerns from the custom clearing agents. The company company clarifications as per the annual turnover. This is segregated into the parts: the micro unit, small unit, medium, and the large unit. Micro unit less than 5 crore, small units from 5 crore to 50 crore, medium units from 50 crores to 250 crore, and the large units above 250 crore. This is basically implemented for the domestic manufacturers. When we take place for the foreign manufacturer, all the specified units will cover under the large unit only. Implementation date for the micro, small, medium, and large will be specifically for large and medium units will be implementation date for 21st January 2024. Small scale industries will going to get the implementation date from 21st of April 2024. And when we talk about the micro scale units, it will be implemented from 21st July 2024. At the specific period of date which is mentioned on the screen, the units have to apply for the BIS certification before the implementation date according to the industry scale. Indian standards for nuts, bolts, and fasteners are already provided in the QCO. We also have a specific slide for the same, which includes all the different type of Indian standards which will going to be covered under the same QCO. IS 1363 Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, IS 1364 Part 1 and Part 2, 4621 5187 10238 12427. Along with that, we have the ISs, which is 3757 204 Part 2, Part 1, IS 15934 2681 281 7534, IS 1284 15833 and 6623. These all specific IS codes are going to be under the mandatory certification scheme according to the scales of the industry, or specifically from 21st January 2024 if any extension or the relaxation will not be provided by the BIS. The content which will going to represent the BIS process will be the simplified normal documentation part. We will going to cover in the same. Review on the documentation, officer nomination, factory audit, issue of certification, renewal and inclusion, BIS expenses. These all will going to be covered in the second content of the BIS process. So BIS process is specifically segregated into two different parts. One is the normal certification procedure and the simplified certification procedure. Normal process and the simplified process can take in place in the domestic, but when we talk about the foreign manufacturing certification scheme, in that only normal process is the one which will going to be taken place. Initially, we will discuss about the normal process of grant of BIS license, in which the submission of application to the BIS branch office will be the first stage. Second will going to be the audit by the BIS auditor, sample withdrawn from the independent test for the independent testing. Then third stage will going to be testing as per the relevant Indian standard by the BIS approved lab, and in last it will if the sample pass the compliance of the BIS ISI license shall be awarded by the BIS certificate. So these four stages will be concluded under the normal process. And when we talk about the simplified process, independent testing for the sample for the BIS approved lab will be the initial part. Second stage will going to be submission of the BIS application in branch office of the BIS. Third stage will going to be recording and scrutinization of the application. Fourth stage will going to be the audit of the BIS official and the sample withdrawn from by the BIS officer for the independent testing. And the fifth stage will be the grant of license. What type of documents we have to procure at the time of the certification, or how we can proceed with the documentation part? Basically, we need these 10 documents which are mentioned on the screen: company factory registration documents, application form, manufacturing process with flowchart, list of manufacturing machinery, list of testing equipments, calibration certificate, accepting the scheme of inspection and testing SIT, in-house lab test report as per the standard, as per the IS standard, third party lab test report as per the applicable Indian standard, other information as per BIS norms. We have to take care of all the part of documentation. Without the completion of the documentation part, we will not be able to proceed further with the further stages of the certification. BIS process, as I mentioned already, the BIS audit or the factory audit is very much required. Before the factory audit, you need to prepare the required samples to test during the audit for the independent testing in front of the BIS officer. Production facilities in the laboratory will also be verified during the audit. Schedule and sample will be tested in the in-house. So in-house testing process will also be required at the time of the factory audit. Sample test reports or result must meet Indian standard as per the requirements of the BIS. Sample will be sealed by the BIS officer for the independent testing. Firm will arrange the dispatch of the samples to the laboratory. You can see that the screen also indicates some pictures for the verification. Production capabilities verification, in-house testing lab or the in-house lab verification and for the testing purpose, documentation work, and then the sample sealing in the factory. These photographs are completely for your reference so that you can get the complete picture of the BIS factory audit report. BIS next slide indicates of the grant of license. After the satisfactory factory audit and the sample testing, you may process application further for the grant of license. The example copy of the same is indicated on the screen, and you will get the authority to mark your product with the ISI marking on your product after you obtain the license from the Government of India. The same ISI marking will also get the IS code above the same, and below that you will get the CML number, which will be the license number issued by the BIS. This ISI mark will going to be indicated on the same ISI mark will going to be indicated on all the products according to the BIS norms. The BIS process also includes the renewal and the inclusion of the license. Renewal of the license is going to be initially whenever you're going to apply for the BIS certification, it will going to be valid for 1 year, and after a specific year you need to renew your license. The renewal can be take place for up to 5 years. Completely depends on the manufacturer for how many years they want to renew their license for. They have a specific period of time of 5 years, and initially they can work accordingly. Submission of production report and the renewal application documentation of the BIS certified product process in the last of the 1 year. So basically you need to give the specified information to the BIS, the production you have done in the previous year. According to that, the BIS will going to start the process of the renewal. Sample testing and factory audit is not required in the process of the renewal of the license. Renewal charges will be calculated as per the volume produced by the manufacturer in past 1 year. So that is the most important part. You need to take care. You need to get all the information of the production you have made in the previous year if you want to renew your license. If the manufacturer do not have the specific information, the renewal of license will going to be very much crucial for them. Inclusion of the license or inclusion in the license with the type of model, variety, grade, or new specified information in the specified license. Need to send the samples to the BIS approved lab and get it tested in the BIS certified lab. After test report is received after the test report is received, you need to apply for the inclusion to the BIS along with the application documents. Also, it will take 1 month after the test report is issued by the BIS and submitting of the document. The process may take complete 1 month to get the license from the BIS. Here, I would like to add one thing also, that if you have any concerns, any questions regarding the presentation, regarding the process, regarding the renewal or inclusion documentation part, please feel free to put your questions in the chat box so that we can answer your concerns accordingly. The BIS expense sheet will cover all these charges. Please note the application fees of rupees 1,000, audit charges, which is PMD per man day of rupees 7,000, annual marking fees for 1 year according to the Indian standard, license fees rupees 1,000, testing fees per testing fees of the sample, pre-testing fees for the simplified one, and when we talk about the normal process, only the post-sample fees, sample testing fees will be required as per the standard mentioned by the BIS. 18% GST will be additional for all the expenses mentioned on the screen according to the government norms. So you can see that we have the complete information of our addresses. You can coordinate with Aleph India on the mentioned address. You can visit to us. You can see the telephonic numbers. You can have a conversation with our concerned people over the same contact number. The mail addresses are also mentioned on the screen. For your concerns which are very much in brief, or for your clarifications, you can write it to the team of Aleph India. We will be happy to answer all your concerns regarding the process of BIS. The team will going to guide you for the process of BIS from the initial stage till the time you do not obtain the license. The team is very much happy to provide you the information about the new QCOs. We can have a communication regarding the process, regarding the BIS and other certification services as well. So that was very much about the presentation. Now we will be open for the question and answers round, and I can see few of our concerned people have put the questions in the chat box. Initially we will start discussing over the same. I would like to introduce Mr. BK Sinha. Now, sir, the things are all in your hand,
Thank you,
and we are
Shipra.
open for the question and answer round. Thank you so much,
Yes,
sir.
thank you, Shipra. Am I audible to you, all of us?
Yes, sir, you're
Hello.
very much audible to everyone.
Okay. Good morning, everybody who are present in this webinar, and I welcome you all to once again to this subject matter of quality control orders, which are being brought by Government of India for various products. Hello, am I clear? I hope I am clear.
Perfect, sir.
You are audible. You are audible.
Great. So, friends, you would be surprised that this government had promised us the license Raj or inspection Raj se mukti dilayenge. We will be free from industries and other things. We will be free from inspections, licenses, and all that. And why these all QCOs and orders by different notifications are being brought by the various ministries and departments, and these are basically to sort of barriers to your businesses and trades, isn't it? Some of you might be feeling that we don't have freedom to do the business in terms of industries and all that. But I would like to tell you that it's not like that. The government is still very, very much against license Raj and inspection Raj, and to give industry a freedom of operations and also security for the domestic industries. But there is a background behind this. All these quality control orders, they have a background. And briefly, I would like to tell you that initially, any government of any country, when they bring quality control orders or they bring standards, it is treated as if a barrier to trade. We have a global economy these days. Anybody in one country can import, export, or sell whatever the products and services they can go into in a global economy. Then why these the restrictions of technical restrictions, what we call? So basically, the government of all countries, under the United Nations Agreement on Trade and Tariff, you may be aware of, and World Trade Organizations, they brought an agreement, and India is also a signatory to that TBT agreement, and it says that, well, we will not make any barriers to trade by any country, either import or export, but there are certain grounds on which we can ban products which are not meeting our requirements. And these requirements are, I should say, in the public interest. A government, any government can bring the technical standards into a mandatory compliance in the interest of protection of human, animal, or plant health, safety of environment, prevention of unfair trade practices, and also national security. So these are the parameters under which any standards body of a country can bring standards, and the government can make them mandatory for industries for importers and domestic producers. Now, with these things in mind, these quality control orders, which have been brought by India in recent, you may observe there are many products have been brought under this QC orders with the same spirit that we are not hindering any business, but in the interest of public health, safety, environment safety, national security, and prevention of unfair trade practices, we are doing this. And I also feel that all of us should support this movement of the government and come forward that yes, if any foreign items, any foreign products are coming into our country, they must meet the quality parameters. Otherwise, these may be hazard to anything you can think of. So under these nuts and bolts fasteners where the items where it was felt that they may be detrimental to the safety of the country people, the human, and also there may cause some hazards, as you see many items which has been brought under this mandatory certification. When they are being used in the public, maybe in the form of towers, in the form of rail tracks, in the form of automobiles, all of them are really important to have a quality items, failing which a common public or a nation may suffer a lot. So with these background, I just wanted to convey you that these are the background for which government brings these quality control orders, and these quality control orders are being brought under an Act of Parliament, BIS Act, which specify under Act Section 27, then Section 13, 14. Many items can be brought under this ambit of this thing, but the BIS is not the one which is giving you the mandatory orders. It is the line ministry, maybe textile, maybe automobiles, maybe Department of Industries and any other ministry. They use this act, BIS Act, and get it gazette notified, and then this becomes a order to be implemented. But BIS has been given the authority to implement and also exercise the controls regarding its implementation. So with these things, we are here for, and I can tell you there are many more things in the coming days where we can see many items being brought under mandatory certification, and we as a domestic, as a national, Indian national, we should not desist or try to exempt or try to avoid. We should try to implement this quality control order in the interest of national interest, and wherever possible, where because of some genuine nature, because you can seek exemptions, you can seek something which is not covered under this quality control orders. You have all right to seek exemptions and seek clarifications from the Government of India or BIS, so that you can perform your business in a free manner, in a fearless manner, and in a confident manner. So this is the objective where we have brought this webinar to convey all the stakeholders that yes, we are here to clarify all issues and also take up the issues very specific to any industry if there are. I now welcome you to seek any questions that you have, please. Hello. Hello.
Yes. Good afternoon, Sushil
Yes.
here.
Yes, Sushil.
I have posted a few questions already on the chat box, but if the opportunity is there, I would like to mention it here itself. One of the questions what I have got is basically how to identify a hardware or a fastener is falling into this QC order, because then there are certain standards mentioned, but then there are certain parts which are designed basically for the application, and it may not be exactly as per the standard in terms of its specification. Then will such parts as well fall under BIS certification requirement?
My answer is no. If you are manufacturing any item, any maybe product or even processes which are not covered under the specified items of IS number which has been brought under QCO, they need not be covered under mandatory certification. But in order to identify whether your product falls within this standard, you need to carefully examine whether your product is covered under this identified IS numbers or not. Maybe you may be capable to identify them, or you may ask other experts to clearly say whether your product falls under this category, and if no, then get a written order or get a written confirmation or whatsoever. If you are an importer, you are importing certain items and you are not sure whether your item falls under these things, then you can get it verified by Aleph India for getting confirmation whether it is under this mandatory certification or not. So this is the you may get an exemptions letter, maybe ministry, maybe BIS or whatever, so that you are. So this is what I wanted, that there may be nuts, bolts and fasteners which are other than whatever numbers you have seen in the slide.
Right.
They are not covered.
Okay, I understood your answer, sir. Thank you very much for that. I only would like to know if we need that certification of exemption from BIS, or as you said, it can be by experts or on our own, we can decide on the exemption.
Any agency outside the Ministry or Government of India cannot give you a certificate of exemptions.
Okay.
They can assist you in identification. If you feel that it is not covered, then you can apply to BIS. You can apply to the concerned line ministry. If it is a matter of industry ministry, it's a matter of steel ministry or whatsoever, then you can apply to them, and then you can get a clarification, yes, this item is not covered or this is covered, something like that. But you have to be carefully sure that any item that you are either importing or you are manufacturing, trading, is not covered under this. That is important, because you can see there are specific dates have been announced, and as per this quality control order, any person after these dates, these 3 dates, they are not authorized to manufacture, they are not authorized to store, not trade, import, and so many restrictions have been made. So you have to be careful in finalizing that things are not under this QCO cover. Yes.
Right, sir. Only one
So, I'm sorry for interruption, sir. I really apologize. So we have all the questions in the chat box. So we can do one thing. I concernedly confirm the questions to Mr. Sinha, and one by one, sir can provide the concern answers to all of you.
That may be possibly covered by all. Yes, very true. Please go ahead.
So, Ms. Srinivasan Mata have a question. Is the QCO not applicable for any special hardware, bleeder screws or stud molding bolts, etc.?
Yeah, any special hardware, what you are referring to, if there is a national standard for that, and if that national standard is not falling under the QCO, which is listing those standards, then yes, those products are not covered under this QCO. Whatever your products you are manufacturing, they must be having some standards against certain specification, national standards brought out by Bureau of Indian Standards. Now, if it is not listed in the QCO, then yes, your product is not covered under this QCO. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. So,
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. Next question.
so next question is from Mr. Deshpande. You mentioned that foreign supply will fall under the large unit. So, is that right? Please confirm.
Foreign suppliers will fall under large units. You mean to say yes, because uh, foreign manufacturers and suppliers, say there are two things. If you see the quality control order, you have to get either BIS license or COC, where you may see the order. If you see certificate of conformity, sometimes you are just importing, or your material is conforming, but you are not having a license. And so what to do in those situations? So getting a license is a very systematic procedure for verification of your overall capacity and competency to conduct to get certification. But sometimes a lot can be given a certificate of conformity. So foreign manufacturers are covered as large scale units also. Shipra, you may be you are dealing with foreign certification and costing parameters also. So I think they are again, in terms of domestic manufacturing, we are having micro scale and other scales,
Yes.
or small scale. But what happens in the case of foreign manufacturers?
So, sir, your clarification is 100% correct that the foreign manufacturers, all the FMCS industry will going to be covered only under the large scale.
Yes,
The
yes.
domestic industry having the circumstances of the small, medium, or the micro industry, but any of the foreign manufacturer who's willing to apply for the BIS certification, they will covered under the large scale industry only.
So in that case, their timeline begins 21st January.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next question, please.
Next question is from Mr. Kataria. He wants to ask that can the trader also apply for the BIS certification?
No. A trader, the BIS certification or license is granted to manufacturers only, not the traders.
Mr. Jyoti Basu, he have a question. How to check or get confirmation from BIS for exemption on specific parts if we feel it is not covered under the QCO?
Yes, as I said, you can first get yourself by your technical team, get yourself assured by studying your specification, and the specification which has been given in the quality control order. And once you are sure that yes, technical requirements vary, the uses and other things vary, then you can apply to BIS or any ministry to seek exemptions. There is a process to seeking exemption if your product is not covered, because this may help you if you are an importer, that for customs clarifications and other things, that you may put up those exemption letters. So this is what I want to say, that if your product is not, you have to apply to concerned BIS, maybe, or the line ministry, or whosoever has department has brought into this QC.
Sir, can I ask one question, sir, if you don't mind?
Yes, please.
Okay. Sir, we are manufacturing fasteners in a bolt. In that, we have a different sizes. It is called under DIN 933. In that, we are manufacturing different sizes. It falls under only one standard, or if you have to take a different sizes certification?
You have to take one certification, only one license by BIS, only one license for a particular IS number. And that particular IS number can have various sizes. sizes. As you can see, it is possibly M6 to M61, one license. But I would like to tell you that within one license, there are various varieties which are covered in that license. So you may have to go for different varieties. The sizes and other things are there, different varieties of each of the product which are falling under the same Indian standard. So license will be one, but you may have to get your varieties included in subsequent inclusion of a request. You can seek for inclusion of variety. It is not necessary that all the sizes and all varieties you should apply at the same time. Not at all. You can apply just for variety for the grant of license. Then you can claim that yes, you have a BIS certification license for this highest number. And subsequently, you can add on various varieties which you feel they are also part of this standard. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you. Next.
Next question is from Kiran Patel MS. Supplier is not aware whether his parts are applicable for BIS. In that case, can supplier apply for BIS certification? And during the audit, can they confirm the applicability?
No, it is not the other way. First of all, you have to identify yourself or through get it and identify through other consultants like Aleph India. You should be aware that what you are actually producing, what you are actually manufacturing, and then you have to identify whether you are falling under this, and then you have to seek for a license. Not that you will just apply for a license and then the team will come and they will see whether your item falls under this certification or not. It's not that way. Okay, so you have to have clarity first, and then you have to apply for the license. Yes.
So the next question is from Mr. Manohar Lal Virmani. And sir is having a question. If we apply before few days of expiry date, what will happen with the certification?
See, as you have already explained the process of grant of license, there are two ways. There are simplified procedure and there are normal procedure. BIS grants license within 30 days if you apply under simplified procedures. And under normal procedures, usually 3 months, that is 90 days, are the identified timeline. Now, if you apply 1 week prior to the expiry of the date or something, you can understand what will happen. So the date may cross and then you may be not permitted to manufacture, store and other things for your products. As I said, once again, you please refer to the quality control order. After the lapse of this timeline, anybody is not authorized to manufacture, store, exhibit or sell your product which are brought under this QCO. Otherwise, heavy penalties and other things have been provisioned in this BIS Act. So that you have to be applying for in due adequately prior to expiry of this timeline. Okay, next.
Okay, sir.
Next question, Shipra.
Yes, sir. The next question is from Mr. Sandeep KR. What about foreign suppliers BIS certification and what is the procedure?
Foreign suppliers and other procedures, as you already said, that a grant of license can be done under normal and simplified, but for foreign manufacturers, normal procedures are not applicable. They have to apply under normal procedures, not simplified procedures, and therefore the process is almost same. You have to apply with all documentation, and then you have to submit documents. There will be a visit to your plant in whichever foreign country you are having. The sample will be drawn, the sample will be tested in India by in a BIS approved lab, and with all documentation being in order, and with the passing of the sample as per the required relevant Indian standards, you will be granted license. So this procedure is specific to the foreign manufacturers, and here simplified procedures is not permitted. Therefore, usually foreign certification, grant of license usually takes a longer time as compared to domestic certification. Hope I am clear.
Thank you so much, sir. The next question is from KP Jyoti Basu. What is the lead time to get the certification?
This is what, as I said, simplified 30 days, normal 90 days, and foreign manufacturers, you should count 6 months, 180 days. This is the lead time you have to apply for getting certification license. But be specific to the medium, small, and large scale. So it depends on in which category you are falling, and then you can adhere to the time scale. I think for micro it is 12 months, if I can recall. Otherwise, for small it is 9 months. For medium it is 6 months, and for large it is only I think 21st is the period. So that way usually it goes. Maximum government permits from the date of notification of this QCO. Usually 6 months is the period which is given for large scale, and subsequently 6, 9, and 12 months. 6 months, 9 months, 12 months. Yeah.
Great, sir. The next question is from Mr. Prashant BG. Manufacturers in Japan, whether the BIS audit team will visit Japan?
Yes. Yes. As already explained earlier, that for a manufacturer's foreign certifications, the auditors from BIS, they have to visit the manufacturers, and they had to go there. I'll tell you my experience. While I was working, because I am a civil engineer, I have visited many countries, France, Ukraine, and many other such countries which are usually not visited. So I had been allotted an audit in Karachi and also in Kabul. Both of them were cement units to export their products to India. India has a heavy demand of cement because of the growth, infrastructure growth. Our cement inherent production is something around 300-400 million tons per annum, whereas the consumption is 900 million tons per annum in India. So many local countries from Pakistan, from Sri Lanka, Bhutan, even Korea, China, they have applied for grant of cement licenses. So I had to go to Kabul and Karachi also. So you have to go, whatever be the difficult situations, the auditor has to visit and see the manufacturing facility, see the manufacturing capability, the laboratory. After all these documentations and verifications only, and passing of the sample in independent testing, the license is granted. So the procedure is uniform, whether it be domestic or foreign manufacturing. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I am Prashant. I am from Bangalore.
Okay.
this is the first time BIS is applicable for us. So that is the reason we
Yes.
have difficulty. I am in touch with Ms. Shipra for further processing.
Yes.
Yeah, I have another one question, sir. Sir, in case that exporter who export the nut and bolts from the foreign country, they do not manufacture, that is bought out item for them. In that case, what will happen, sir?
Importers do not get any license.
No, I am
The
not.
importers,
The foreign exporter who exports nut and bolts from foreign country, actually he is not the manufacturer. It is a bought out item for them. They'll purchase from somewhere else and they'll export to India. So what will happen in such case?
no. This is what I said. Licenses are not granted to any importers or traders. Firstly, if any product is coming to India, that product, the manufacturer of that product has to get a certification license from BIS.
Yeah.
The manufacturer of that product. Now, if you are saying that that product has been first brought by a trader based in China who procured it from France,
Yeah.
which procured it from Germany, reaches India, then requirement of QCO is the manufacturer based in Germany, they will have to apply for grant of license, not the French or Chinese or the intermediaries. No, they are not required. The manufacturer has to get a certification license.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Clear. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question, Shipra.
If the foreign, again from Mr. Prashant, so if foreign exporter exports nuts to India which is not manufactured by him but it is brought item.
Yes. Same answer which I had just given.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Sir, good morning. This is Balachandran from
License.
Chennai.
Yeah, importers. Same
Hello.
answer.
Sir, this is
Yes,
Balachandran
good morning.
from Chennai. Good morning. So we are
Hello,
manufacturing.
yeah.
We are manufacturing certain parts to the drawing of our Tier 1 vendor who is supplying to an automobile manufacturer. They want us to take BIS certification for these components. But we find that this the quality control order is more for hexagon type of nuts and bolts and not for parts which are made as per drawing. Do we need to take it, sir?
Okay.
The parts are made
No,
as per
you
drawing.
cannot take any license. Yes. License cannot be granted to any manufacturer which does not produce product as per the given standard. If your production is beyond that standard, for example, if IS 1363 hexagonal bolts and nuts which has a size of M6 to M61, just for example, and if your vendor or your customer requires a bolt size of M71 or 65, which is not covered under this standard, then your product is very sizes and other things which are already given in this license, they are covered. So this is important to know that anything which is clearly not covered under the standard is not required for a certification.
Right, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So the next question is from Mr. Manohar Lal Virmani. If I'm buying these fasteners from other supplier, can I sell with my brand name?
Well, this is question of branding. You can certainly adopt BIS certified material from other supplier, and then you can put the brands on it. Then the rules of the brands and other things will be applicable to you if you have taken the permission of that brand, whosoever is the owner of that brand, in that way. But BIS, here we are not discussing with the ownership of the brand and certification. We are here discussing with the QCO orders and quality certification. So that question is something is not relevant to this today's webinar.
The next question is from Mr. Rohan. Sir, have few questions. First of them is, in which certification we need to apply BIS, normal or simplified?
The choice is yours. The manufacturer has been given two choices, and if you ask me, I'll ask you to apply under a simplified procedure. Why? Because that gives you a license within 30 days. If you are ready with your documentation requirements, your laboratory requirements, your competency requirements, you will get a license within 30 days. That is a very good, scheme which has been brought by this BIS. Earlier, this scheme long back, it was not there. This scheme is particularly because BIS has taken into belief that the test certificate of the product which you are submitting along with the application meets the quality parameters, has really been manufactured from your plant, and you have taken into all quality control inputs into that product. So naturally, when the visit will be paid, the sample will be drawn, that should meet the quality, but you will get the license first. And your license continuation will be decided subject to the conformity of that sample which was drawn by BIS during the preliminary inspection. So it's a question of faith here. You get the license first and conformity is established later on for independent testing. So I think you should apply for under simplified procedure. But if you are not sure or something because of some other reasons, or if you are not yet established your laboratory and other things, you can apply under normal procedures also. But be ready that you should be equipped with everything prior to their visit, BIS visit. Yes.
The second part of the same question goes is the exporter from the country need to register under BIS, and in which certification process it can go, normal or simplified, for foreign manufacturer?
Exporters are not required to register themselves. Export. And for foreign manufacturers, it is only the normal procedure which is applicable. Simplified procedure is not applicable for foreign manufacturers.
Right, sir. The third question from Mr. Rohan again. As an importer, our registration is enough to import the studs, nuts, bolts, or shipper from outside India also needs to apply for the BIS or need to register under the BIS?
Importers are, again I say, are not required to get themselves registered. Importers are not required to get registered. It is only the manufacturers who need to get the license. Okay.
Mr. Gopal also have few questions. Before applying, foreign manufacturer must meet one of these following two conditions. Condition A, the manufacturer appoints an authorized agent in the India who declared compliance with the BIS Act 2018 and regulations on the behalf of the manufacturer and is responsible for its accordance with the content and the term of agreement signed by the BIS manufacturer and the manufacturer. And the point B,
yes,
foreign manufacturer must obtain permission from the Reserve Bank of India.
For the question part A, yes, I think authorized Indian representatives are required for a foreign manufacturer who can act on their behalf for all certification and documentation requirements and many other system requirements, I'll say. And as regards to part B of the questions, I don't think RBI registration or confirmation is required for any foreign manufacturer. No. Reserve Bank of India doesn't come into play between the BIS certification as such. I think you have asked this, RBI, whether they want to get registered with the RBI.
Sir, basically RBI is not in the picture directly, but for the performance bank guarantee, we need to submit the specific amount to the BIS through the RBI or the concerned bank which is having the branch office in the respected country.
Yes, that is financial part, that is banking part as such, but the manufacturer, do they need to directly contact the RBI for their something like that?
So for performance bank guarantees, specifically, I'll say that they need to have a coordination with the bank.
PBG,
yes, with their bank.
Yes, with their banker. Yes, their banker will take care of all national financial, statutory requirements, and then for conduct of foreign transactions. So RBI is the regulatory authority for foreign transactions, but it doesn't directly deal with the.
Just a clarity, Mr. Sinha sir and Shipra. When you say that it is only requested for the purpose of performance bank guarantee, so if the PBG is from an Indian nationalized bank or it's from the origin country banks, how does it work?
Shipra?
So from either of them, the same amount in the USD can be also raised in INR. The amount will be equivalent. You can raise the PBG from the Indian bank or from the foreign bank. It is up to the manufacturer's choice.
Even for local manufacturers, does this PBG
No.
apply?
The PBG is not applied for the domestic manufacturers. It is only applicable in the part of foreign manufacturing certification scheme.
You mean PBG is for the amounts, the fee, basically the fee perspective, this is PBG or this is a separate PBG, Shipra?
So sir, basically PBG will be issued. It is like a guarantee you are providing to the BIS. It is like a deposit. The same amount will be refunded to the manufacturer once they will withdraw their license. So this specific amount for PBG will be refunded once the license will be withdrawn.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And what is the value of the PBG?
So the PBG is $10,000 US.
Irrespective of the country or something like that, any criteria is there?
No, sir. The PBG will remain $10,000 US, and all the payments which will going to be made by the manufacturer, the foreign manufacturer, doesn't matter relevant to the country. They have to make the payments in the US dollars only.
To BIS?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It is returnable once the license is closed, correct?
Yes, sir. Only the PBG is the refundable.
Yeah, PBG amount.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. The next question is again from Mr. Gopal. He says that will there be any possibility of the QCO timeline extended?
I was expecting this question as the initial stage, but somehow this question has come because, as I said, that many people are thinking and not willing to accept the quality control orders and the spirit of the quality control orders, I should say. And therefore, they are expecting for exemptions or extension of this quality control order. But as I can perceive, the intentions of the current government, unless there are very strict and specific reasons, these QCOs are not extended in general. There may be pressure groups, there may be representations, industry representation, global representation. Because of some technical reasons, implementation is not possible. That could be the reason for the government to extend it. But this product as such, if you look at the nuts, bolts and fasteners, it's not a very complicated product. Technically, the manufacturing equipments or even testing equipments are not very sophisticated to the extent as we can say that yes, they can be safely and other things can be manufactured. We have in India manufacturing capability, testing capability, the equipments required to test the product is very much available in India. So with these conditions, I do not see any reason for extension by government of this QCO.
Sir, with the ongoing
Thank you,
confusion, sorry, Shipra, Sinhaji, with the ongoing confusion or uncertainty, clarity, what is in the market, don't you think still there are no chances for this extension? Because QCO, yes, we have to follow, people will follow, but I think the market is as such now. Many are still don't know what to apply, what not to apply, how does it apply, what is the standard under which they fall. With a lot of uncertainty and the ambiguity what they have, how it looks like.
As I said, yes, government, earlier also there were many QCOs like footwear, QCO on footwear, you must be aware of. Small Hawaii chappals, slippers and other things, they have been brought under quality control orders. So one can question how the very small, micro and super micro manufacturers who are manufacturers of these items, how they will be covered. So, and the same question was asked when there was a hallmark, and again in this year, 2023, although hallmarking quality control order came way back in 10 years back, So the reason was it got extended many times. The mandatory was not made and the quality control order was not implemented because it was felt that for an item like gold, the goldsmiths and the retailers are deep in the villages. Small towns also where testing facilities and many other things are not available. So the government extended and ultimately this year it has been made mandatory throughout the country to sell hallmarked gold and silver articles. Now, in case of this current item, there may be some confusion. That confusion can be cleared by industry associations, meetings, through webinars and other things. But since we are already in November, there is a matter of December, January for large scale. Many large scale have already got the license. And there are timelines given for a small scale, which is 6 months, micro, 9 months and all that. So I think government feels confident that if you have to be aligned with the quality of the product, adequate timeline has been given. But again, I say, I won't discourage you or some order you say if you are not prepared or something like that. There are chances. I can't say that there are no chances for extension. There may be some issues which industry can represent to the government so that it can be extended, but likelihood is less, certainly.
Thank you, sir. And one more question I had on the same, I think. Any idea on what are the HSN which falls under this QCO? Yes, sir, you are clear.
Yes.
And any idea on the HSN which fall under this QCO? Which are all the HSN which will fall under this QCO? Under IS 1363, 1364?
So, sir, basically in the process of BIS certification, HSN does not take place specifically. We need to confirm the IS code. According to the IS code and the grade and the model of the product, we can only apply and obtain the certificate.
So there is no role of HSN in this BIS, huh?
Correct, sir.
Why? Because, assume, maybe I will take one of the car manufacturer. See, he got so confused and he came back and said to us, if at all the product is falling under HSN 7318, please ask your suppliers to apply for BIS. This is what the statement he gave. So how fair is that, or how the statement is it right, or what is it, what are they trying to do actually?
So basically, sir, sometimes one HS code can be relevant to multiple products. That is the reason why BIS do not work with the HSN codes. They work with the IS code. One specific IS code is available only for one specific product. So that will not make any kind of confusions. So in that case, you can provide your specifications, your product specification with us. We can identify the IS code of your product and then we can guide you for the process of BIS certification.
Got it, Shipra. I think we have discussed on it. Maybe we will. I think we will talk on this. We'll talk on this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That will be more smooth conversation. Thank you.
We'll do that. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thanks to both.
So the next question is from KUMAR. How are Indian standards formulate for specific product categories?
See, you are asking questions on the process of standardization. For any product, see, BIS has 15 technical departments. Technical committee, basically 15 divisional council, I'll say. They belong to different areas of the product, like civil engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, metallurgical engineering, hospital engineering, and so many departments are there. And each department, for example, if you say metallurgy engineering, metallurgical has got various sectional committees under them, and each sectional committee consists of a chairman and a representation of members from manufacturers, suppliers, purchasers, traders, NGOs, government departments, and other things and IITs and other things to represent entire gamut of stakeholders who can have concern related to that standard. So they all discuss in meetings in BIS regarding the nature of the standards which are to be established, which are to be developed. Then first of all, a draft is prepared for any product. That product draft is circulated all over the country through internet and also through committee to various departments and the various stakeholders. The comments are sought, and all those comments received are discussed in the next committee meetings. And similarly, these things are repeated many times, and then a consensus approach is reached. Consensus, I am repeating, because BIS standards, unlike ISO standards, is based on consensus approach. So that everybody agrees, then certain standard is finalized, and then gazette notifications, and they are sent for printing. But ISO standard, the international standards, they are not based on consensus approach. It is based on voting. We have 192 plus United Nations and maybe more countries who are part of the ISO standards formulation committee. So if you go on making consensus, the standards can never be formulated. So ultimately they prepare a draft, circulate it, seek comment, and ultimately those comments are discussed. But if consensus is done, then then the voting is there as a matter of record, so that through voting a standard is finalized and then published. So this is how, in short, any Indian standard is formulated and printed and brought to the national use. I hope it is clear.
No, I thank you, Sinha. I mean, this is Sanjay from KUMAR. I really appreciate that answer. It's very enlightening. Thank you, Shipra, also.
Yes.
Just a further
Thank you,
question, sir. Thanks, Sinha. One question was before that: is a BIS certification for a factory or a product-specific BIS is required? Because the factory makes 5 products for us, which are different, but although require BIS. Will the factory require BIS certification, or which each product require BIS certification?
Yes, you have to take 5 licenses for each product.
Understood. I think that's very enlightening. As we are on the topic, just a very simple question. I'm sorry, I'm taking your time and skipping a little bit. If foreign exporter is only certified for that particular product, will I have to take a BIS certification again for my company? If there is a foreign
importer.
he has a BIS certification for some other importer in the country out here. He's already BIS certified as a factory for that product. For
Yes.
that product for another purchaser in this country, in India. Will I also have to apply for BIS certification again for that product from that same exporter? Well, of course, it's from the exporter side that the BIS certification is taken. We understand that.
No. You mean to say that if you are willing to purchase any item which is already BIS certified, ISI
Correct.
marked, and those items have been have been imported from some different countries, and you want to purchase that item, then why do you need to take the license? It is
You don't
already
need
BIS marked. Right? Well, you want to use that product in your any different product.
Yeah. So it's for sale basically. We are, and at the end part, we are selling that product.
Yeah, no. You need not take that license for that product. You
Understood.
need not take a license for any product which is not manufactured by you. So the product which you are procuring from that importer is not manufactured by you.
Correct.
Yes. So you need not take the license.
Really appreciate that. One last question, I'll take your time. What are the timelines for getting a confirmation that this particular product is not as per Indian standards? Like, as you said, you'll have to call for, get a letter of exemption either from the Ministry of that your product is not covered under this QCO or this particular IS standards right now. How much time does that now?
No timelines have been defined for this activity.
Understood.
It may be quick, and it may go on for an indefinite period, depending on the nature of complexity of the product. But usually you get to know whether this product maybe is covered under this QC or not. And once it is clear, that you can write and you will get some reply from either ministry or from BIS.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
But no timeline is there for getting that. You, unlike RTI and other things, those things, timelines are not there. Even if you ask for RTI, it is not covered. It is not covered under that timeline.
Understood.
Yes.
Thankful to you, Sinhaji, and I'll take the conversation with Shipra offline. Thank you, Shipra. Thank you, Sinhaji.
Thank you so much,
Thank
sir. Sir, we
Thank you.
are taking the last question for this webinar today. The last question is from Mr. Bora. What about unsold stock before BIS certification? Do we need to destroy it?
Yes, the quality control order is also clear in this way. If you have produced the item without certification and the quality control order's timeline has just passed, or this is on the date of time, any item which is not certified, you will have to return to the manufacturer or destroy, or you have to get it on hold till it is certified with respect to its quality in terms of after getting a license, or you can return it to the manufacturer who manufactured this item. So this is the case. Once the timeline of quality QCO process, all previous stocks and other things, even as you can see from the QCO, even you cannot authorize to manufacture even a store. So the word store has to be taken note of. आपको store नहीं कर सकते. So this is so specific. It is it's very stringent in the sense, this QCO, because once they give liberty, if this is a previous store, then that was of that month made. So somebody will have to take control of those records, who is having how much store, how much stocks, how to dispose that stocks. It is a very lengthy timeline. No manufacturing, no storage, no sale without a valid BIS license. Very clear.
Sorry, sir. the question which I ask is for the imported material, and imported material we import before the timeline, and still it is in stock, or it is stock with our stockist or our retailers or someone else. So what will the situation, and what is that, whether they this 6 month, 9 month and 1 year timeline will be applicable for them, because once the goods has been imported before the deadline.
See, yes, I'd like to answer in the way that it is as simple as domestic. I will just treat it as a stored product, whether imported or domestically manufactured. It is a stored product which is unused, unutilized, kept in line in a store, and it is not marked. So the quality of this stock is not known. The quality and conformity, I should say conformity of this nuts and bolts which you have imported prior to issuance of this quality control order is not known. Now what to do? Once the timeline has passed, you have only one thing, either to get it, return it back, or I think there is a in the QCO, if you read, COC is written, either BIS certification license or COC. C is certificate of conformity. Now certificate of conformity pertains to a particular lot or something amount. For example, if you have say 150 tons of nuts and bolts lying in a store which is not certified, now what to do with that? So maybe you may have to apply to BIS for COC. Then there is a procedure for certificate of conformity, issuing certificate of conformity based on random sampling of your entire lot. Random sampling on a statistical basis. They will take the samples, get it tested, get it certified. If they conform to the requirement, they will issue certificate of conformity for that particular lot, and then only it can be used in the market. So that you please read this quality control order, that COC requirement you has to be followed in such cases.
Sorry sir, the other thing is the timeline, like things have been imported before the deadline. Now the importer is his turnover is less than 5 crore. So here what timeline will be applied for the goods which is already in stock?
For a foreign manufacturer, the concept of micro, minimum, large and small is not covered. It is only considered as large. That point of the QCO begins. So here in this case is 21st of January 2024. So
that
prior to
that day,
that this material, whatever is lying in the stock. Yes.
Mr. Bora, I really apologize for interrupting you in between, but we have already extended the meeting for half an hour. So I think we should close the webinar. All your concern questions you can drop on the email addresses as mentioned in the chat box. And in addition to that, we have also created a new WhatsApp channel. You can subscribe to the same. The WhatsApp channel link is also mentioned in the chat box. All the new webinar information, QCO updates will going to be referred by the Aleph India team to you who will going to subscribe to the channel. The information will be granted on the same so that it will be easier for you importers, exporters, manufacturer to understand the process of BIS certification. This is the best opportunity Aleph India is getting to provide the best information to the clients, and this is how we are dealing in the industry right now. So I request everyone who have joined the meeting to subscribe the WhatsApp channel. Along with that, you can note the email address, and on the same you can provide your concern questions. The team will answer the same.
right, Shipra.
Thank you so
very
much. Thank you, Sinaji. Thank you, Shipra.
Thank you everyone for joining the meeting.
Yeah,
Thanks to all.
yeah, thanks to all.
I hope. Thanks. Thank you. Bye bye.
Very enlightening. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.